Hello and welcome to the Hatewatch podcast. Steph and Tom here a week into the World Cup and the morning after England's win over Croatia. On the pod this week we'll be delving into everything that has irritated us during the first round of games, including hydration breaks, the BBC ITV battle and our favourite Hatewatches so far. How have 7 days of relentless football treated you, Tom?
Oof, it's been good. I can't complain. I mean, I've committed to kick-off times that I didn't think I'd commit to, and have missed games that I thought I would commit to. So there's been a good mix of seeing what I want to see and missing, but being able to catch up on good stuff as well. And there's so much for us to dig into. So I think there's no better place to start than England last night. I mean, how did you consume it? Have you been able to enjoy the results and have it sink in yet?
Yeah, I was in a weird place in terms of enjoying it because I've been looking forward to this game for so long and I've come into it like maybe it's because I'm at home and not around loads of football people. I don't know, but I was just like, well, first group game, and there's potentially seven more after this, and
Yeah.
or what if we don't win it, and all this kind of stuff. Um, and then we just started well. I was like, okay, we've come to play. All right, and obviously it was a bit seesaw. Um, in the end, and then we turned it on in the second half. So overall, enjoyable experience. But I'm waiting to get super excited. I'm very impatient. I think to believe we can actually go far. I think
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
my overriding feeling.
Yeah. No, it's understandable. I mean, it's difficult when we are in the final group that there's been so
Yeah,
much football before England have played that sort of in danger of being not quite burnt out, but starting to feel the fatigue of so much football watching before England gets started. But I will say I saved listening to any England songs until yesterday afternoon on my run, and I also the first hit of Three Lions that I've had this tournament definitely got me in the mood for the game, and it was quite interesting once we started that the first 5 minutes seemed to give me the that funny feeling that you always get where England start a little bit ropey. The passing out from the back was maybe a little
oh
slow.
yeah,
Croatia pressed really well that first 5 minutes, and it was a bit. I think we gave away a throw in really far up the pitch and little bits like that. So there's a little bit of fear, and then I think Anthony Barry summed it up best at half time of how we had probably the bit of the World Cup nerves for the first game, which is understandable, and doing things wrong that they had been getting right in training, just maybe
yeah.
down to that sort of.
Some people playing their very first World Cup match
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
Nico O'Reilly, etc.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Elliot Anderson had a little bit of a couple of mistakes that he made. I mean, I think the first goal especially, he was a little bit out of position. But yeah, once we got the penalty in the corner, there was plenty of room to improve, and we did exactly that in the second half. I mean, there was probably only one or two instances where Croatia threatened Jordan Pickford's goal. We had to make one decent save, but apart from that, we were unbelievably good, and it was so refreshing to see the substitutions from an England manager work perfectly well. Like we're so used to Southgate taking a little bit too long to make his changes and things like that, and when we're only 3-2 up and he's throwing Saka and Spence and Rashford and just anything he can at
yeah,
it to
we,
try and make
we
sure we
we
score.
are blessed with depth. Although I
Mhm.
guess Southgate was as well.
Yeah.
So
But two
but
positions to know
it
what we
was
want.
with purpose, and
Hmm.
it was it would give us the new dimension that we needed to see out the game.
Yeah.
And we proved that with the fourth goal especially,
Mm.
um, which was like all the subs combining,
Yeah.
which was
Three
nice.
of them chasing the same ball down at once and it working, and then yeah, Saka being given them the space to find Rashford. Yeah, it was perfect sort of storm of what Tuchel clearly wanted to see from the changes that he made. And Croatia were always never going to keep up the level of pressing that they were doing in that first half, and for periods in the second half as well when they made changes they seemed to rediscover their energy, but we were able to time our substitutions so well that we never seemed to fatigue at any point at all. I did think it was an interesting decision to take Rice off when he did, but I think we felt a little exposed for a few minutes once he was trying to work out whether Bellingham or Reece James was going to play in that sort of role in the middle. But once they worked it out, I think another set of changes seemed to set us back right again. So there's
Yeah,
been lots
and
of good signs from that
it
first game.
it turns out that there was a bit of an injury scare for Rice, which
Oh, really? I missed
makes
that.
me feel
Okay,
better.
yeah.
I'm glad it wasn't like Tuchel sort of actively going into his shell tactically.
Yeah.
Um, so that was good, and also I think he has, in some ways, built this team to be as versatile as possible, so
Oh
that
yeah.
when we are making enforced changes, we have those sort of jigsaw pieces to fit into whatever puzzle he needs fixing.
Oh yeah, we
Um,
said it last week when we were looking at the squad he's picked. There's so many players in the 26 that we have that can play various roles. It's
yeah,
insane. Yeah, I mean, you can see it from the enforced change he's had to make this week with Livramento dropping out. That everyone's calling from the outside for Lewis Hall or Alexander Arnold to come in, and he's picked a centre back who can play anywhere across the back line. Who maybe another day he would pick Maguire if Maguire had been so outspoken over the last month and everything he's been through and not being called up. But you never know. The Tuchel's never going to answer that in terms of publicly. Whereas, yeah, Chalobah's someone who can free up Kwanzaa and Konza to play on that right side, and he can play inside them if. I mean, it would take a sort of drastic scenario for that to happen, I think. But it's another example of the versatility we have in the England squad.
I mean, that's what it's there for. Tournaments are going to throw up those kind of scenarios, unexpectedly,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're equipped to deal with them and make those quick decisions in the game, that's what it's all about.
Mm.
So fair play. He needed to do something he wasn't planning to do in terms of taking one of his best players off, and it didn't really in the end affect us. Croatia were not all that, and I
No.
was a bit, I was a bit not surprised by the coverage, but there was a lot of. I felt there was too much going into the game about, oh, this is the team that beat us in 2018, and I was a bit confused by that because A, that was a long time ago. B, there's loads of those players don't play in the team anymore, and
Mm.
C, the players that are there in the team are nowhere near as good
Yeah,
as
yeah.
as what they were. Whereas we have, if we already had a young team then, and we've evolved, and there's new players have come in, and we're still a proper force.
Mm.
So I didn't like, and also we'd beaten them in a major tournament since then as well.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
like this idea that we're breaking some sort of hoodoo or this was the hardest game on paper for sure
mm,
within the group. Um, but they were kind of as good as I thought they would be.
yeah,
Um, and their goals came from us being sloppy more than anything.
yeah, yeah. No, I think they exploited our lack of height at the back quite well in the first half. They seemed to every single long ball they played seemed to go out to the right hand side where Reece James was, and I don't think he won a single header in the first half. He did improve in the second. That seemed to be something he was sort of moved about to sort of fix. But yeah, you're right. There were a lot of Croatia players where you sort of got what you expected from them. Like Vuskovic had a nice couple of moments from the back, but was still shows his limitations as being quite young. And then Modric was probably a little worse than everyone expected, but he's a 40-year-old man now. You do expect him to be a step or two off the pace. And we'll say Ivan Perisic surprised me a little bit. I thought he'd be a little less effective than he was, but he's still full
Yeah,
of
no,
running at his age, which is
he did really
quite.
well to set up. It was him who set up the second goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, he made the run
Yeah,
from deep and headed it down. Yeah, so that was good to see. But yeah, you're right. This was always going to be the hardest game on paper, and I think from what we saw from the Ghana Panama game afterwards, England should have absolutely no problem with either of them if they play anywhere near how they played last night. So
yeah,
if Panama and Ghana are as bad as they were yesterday, so it's a good mix. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot more football to see between now and next Wednesday when we play against Ghana. But yeah, it's great signs, and I mean, there's gonna be. I can't wait for how much more we're going to see between now and then. I mean, moving away from England, what other games that have stood out for you in the past week that you've enjoyed?
all the ones that I've enjoyed the most.
Yeah, not
Hmm.
necessarily hate watch, just actual
Yeah. Okay.
entertaining
This
games.
you've put me on the spot. I'm gonna have to
Mm.
get a list up so I can give you the correct answer to this question.
Yeah, because I only bring it up because I made a weird point when it was 2-2 at half time, and to my dad, I was like, "Oh, this is probably the most entertaining game so far." And he reminded me of quite a few games that have been quite closely fought and have had a lot of goals. It just, I think, it went to show me that I was only remembering the games from the last day or two rather than those from like a week before.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I
I think
know,
an
I'm with
easy
you.
one to point out would be Netherlands Japan from Sunday evening with.
Yeah,
But
annoyingly, I missed that live. I was traveling home,
Yeah, I
Um,
made the fun mistake of only watching the first half of that and then deciding at half time, I'm going to go home. Nothing really is going to happen here. And then we had four late-ish goals that were
don't you
quite.
just hate having friends,
No, it's yeah, having
having stuff to
plans and
do on the
things. Yeah,
weekends? It's
I know it's
ridiculous.
criminal. Yeah, yeah,
Um, I don't know. Do you know what? Genuinely, the most captivating watch for me was probably the Spain game.
yeah, yeah. No, I 100%
Um,
agree with you.
and I was just like, 'cause I didn't go into that game like supporting Cape Verde,
No.
partly because I just thought Spain were going to roll them over,
Hmm.
um, and maybe part of me was thinking after Curacao got destroyed by Germany, was thinking, are we going to get a repeat of this in terms of their first ever game, and they're going to feel the pressure,
Hmm.
um, and then Spain could easily have scored loads of goals in the first half, and they didn't, and that happened. So I thought, oh, they'll just up it in the second, and then
Yeah, they'll
the
eventually break
closer it
through.
got to the end, it was like they're going to do this. They're
Yeah.
going to do this. Spain have run out of ideas.
Mm.
They're going to hold out.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there was a period where they were going on the break and looking like they could nick it as well.
Yeah, yeah, the free header from the corner, and yeah, they had a 3v2 at one point where they were breaking.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
Lee
was.
Dixon was very excited about this.
Oh, yeah, that's one of my favourite things for the World Cup so far. Is the most mundane co-commentator who we've slated loads of times on this podcast, losing all professionalism when Cape Verde are breaking and doing a really verbal "come on" as they're going through.
Yeah,
It's
he got really
amazing.
excited by them crossing the halfway
Yeah,
line.
yeah, yeah.
It's like,
Like it was, yeah. They weren't
okay,
even. That
mate.
wasn't even one of their over numbering the Spanish defense breaks. It was just a standard counter attack, and he was just getting overly excited.
Yeah,
Which yeah,
he got so excited that he was like droning on over the final whistle itself.
yeah. He hadn't realised the full time whistle had gone because he was still trying to wax lyrical about what he was watching, and Sam Matterface had his line ready to shout, and he had to wait and wait and wait, and he just decided as Lee's still going, just I am just going to talk over you now because the whistle went 20 seconds ago. We can't leave it any longer. Yeah, I was very much matching Lee's energy when he was getting really excited in those last 10 minutes because I was out of my seat, standing up watching those last 10 minutes, which I think is the only non-England game I've done that for so far. Just really wanting them to hang on.
Yeah, it's weird how that just built up, and
Mhm.
I wouldn't call it a hate watch because it wasn't. It was more the fact that it was Cape Verde doing what they were doing rather than they were doing it against Spain. But
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the same time, they're one of the least likely teams you would have thought they could have done that against.
Yeah, considering
Um,
the amount of big teams who have gotten results in their first game, I don't think we've had any sort of massive upsets at all. I mean, we've had a couple of draws where bigger teams probably should have got the win, or on paper you'd expect them to, but nothing apart from the Spain Cape Verde draw where it's been a big shock, which is interesting and quite surprising, I think, considering how many teams and games we have had. But yeah, it's been I mean, from a hate watching point of view, there's been a lack of success in that sort of regard. Of if you're only going in it for wanting the big teams to drop points, there's only been one or two where that's happened, which is a
yeah,
shame. But there's so much football to go that we will get there eventually with
but
those.
and obviously there's so many teams. They do all have to get knocked out eventually, so
Exactly. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
will inevitably happen.
Once the round
Um,
32 starts, that's where it's going to properly begin, where we lose half the
yeah,
teams.
it'll be interesting to see how if there's like any heavyweight matchups that early. I suspect there will be because we have had big teams dropping points.
Hmm.
Um, looking at obviously Spain and Belgium drew their first game, Brazil drew their first game. My,
No, and
my
Portugal
favourite
as
dropping
well.
of points is Portugal,
Yeah.
and in terms of a hate watch, I mean we did our hopes for hate watching last week,
Mm.
um, and we said nothing against Portugal, but Ronaldo, we do want to see Ronaldo, you know, fall flat on his face,
Hmm.
and the man delivered.
Ah, yeah. I don't know how I ended up on this side of the algorithm online after the game, but it felt like, well, from what I was seeing, there was a universal hate watch going on against Ronaldo. There's so many people want to see what we wanted to see and what we caveated last week that we're so hoping and praying that he has a terrible tournament. And yeah, he was the sort of ghost that you expect to see in what we saw in the first game yesterday. Just seconds off the play, not really making much happen, not really receiving the ball or anything like that. When
And also just like desperate to score himself.
yeah, he wants to be the star. He wants to be the protagonist. Yeah, it's how Ronaldo's been for the last sort of 5 major tournaments that we've seen him playing. But I did have a moment when João Cancelo scored the overhead kick that was ruled out. For a split second, I thought Ronaldo had done it, and I was like, no, come on. We can't give him that moment. Sure, he's done nothing so far. And then when I heard the commentator say, "Oh, Cancelo scored that," I thought, thank goodness me. And then obviously it was ruled out anyway. But yeah, it helped as well. I think that it came after a Messi masterclass too. And Mbappe as well. Both of them scored. Messi obviously scoring a hat trick, and Mbappe getting a brace. That it sort of fell on Ronaldo and Haaland as well. To be fair to the big stars, sort of turning up on the World Cup stage, it's like the pressure's even more on Ronaldo. Or at least it will be in his mind that because you'd think this is how he thinks that the big stars on these teams have performed. Okay, I need to deliver as well now, and for him to then do nothing, and for Portugal to draw against a Congo side who you wouldn't expect to give.
Yeah, that's the other thing. He had a stinker regardless of the result. And kind of all the sweeter that he's gone into that dressing room sulking. I mean, he would have gone in sulking anyway, because he didn't get on the score sheet. But yeah, great point for Congo. And I mean, it just makes you wonder. Portugal might just do another performance like that.
Yeah, in the group that they're in as well, they're all banana skin sort of fixtures. So if they can't turn it on in the second game, then yeah, they could well be in trouble of, or at the very least, being battling it out for one of those third position spots that will get them through. But I mean, they've been there before and turned it round, so it wouldn't be the end of the world for them. They'll know that they can do that. I know it's a very different team from 10 years ago, but it does make a difference. I think we saw it in both Spain and Portugal's games that they weren't accepting of the point, as it were, the changes they were making late on. Like Spain didn't want to use Jamal as much as they did in that game, I don't think, anyway, and brought him on quite early to get a goal. Portugal were throwing on any attacker that they possibly could, and were basically playing 4-2-4 at the end and risking throwing away.
As you would.
Yeah, of course.
Because I think they know the danger that if they don't win the group, they will get a dodgy round of 32 game. They are on potential collision course with England, so
yeah.
It's and as much as we don't really want that, they definitely don't want that as a result of their underperformance.
No, definitely not. And it does set up some nice, tasty second games in the groups for both of those teams. And I think they'll be, if those games sort of go on to about the second half and they still haven't broken through or they're behind, the panic's going to be quite interesting to see if they can, because both teams have got so many players who can just flick of the switch, make something happen. So there's always that fear, which I think is going back to the Spain game, why it was so captivating for Cape Verde to hang on, that even though Spain were looking less and less threatening as the minutes sort of ticked by, there's always that thought in the back of the mind of Yamal's just going to do something, or Dani Olmo's just going to do something, and they're going to grab the goal they need, which was, made it all the more pleasing when they didn't.
I think that their upcoming opponents won't play the same way as Cape Verde.
No,
so that might work in their favour. In that it'll be more open and they can go more toe to toe, and you have a bit more freedom in the way they attack. I mean, Uruguay were dreadful in their match. They were absolutely terrible. They were.
Before Ghana's game last night, I think that was the worst game so far.
It was. I found it quite watchable, but really? I just thought that performance-wise, they were just not at it. Anything special. And there is loads of apparent unrest behind the scenes and stuff, which is great for a World Cup. And I mean, I just think that they're nothing special, and suddenly Spain playing Uruguay doesn't seem as scary as it did on paper when the draw was made. Saudi Arabia was probably as good as you expect them to be. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if they are surprised about how well they were able to play against that Uruguay team. I don't think they're anything special. I reckon. I expect Spain to still win that group. They're very lucky that the other game was a draw, so they're basically still in control of that.
Yeah, they're all level on points. So yeah, it's basically just starting exactly the same way, just for two
Yeah.
games rather than three.
Whereas you've got teams like Brazil who are now playing catch up to Scotland,
Mm.
which is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's a closer group than maybe people thought as well. So there's all these stories are just coming together, and
Yeah,
somebody, I think, because of the amount of draws, we're just setting up for like someone's gonna have like a disaster.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, Mark Pugach. Sorry.
Good callback. Good callback. Yeah, no, it's interesting the role Haiti play in that group now, where they've got to play the two teams who you think would finish first and second, and they have the power to if they can take a point off of one of Brazil and Morocco or Morocco, then yeah, that will really
And no disrespect, that's a great World Cup for them. They nick a point of either of those.
And yeah, that'll
be memories for life.
Yeah, considering when the draw was made on pay PC, that's a bit like damn. With the chances of us scraping through have come a lot harder. But yeah, if they can make something happen, then yeah, they'll have a great time, which is the case for a lot of teams out there. Obviously, with Curacao had their goal and their moment against Germany. That's probably something more than they even in their wildest dreams thought of. And I mean, we're going to get
the fact also that was an equaliser rather than just a consolation.
Yeah, you go behind early.
I was like, oh, great, we're actually like toe to toe with Germany. We're like just as good as them. Look at us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
2 hours later.
Yeah, just battered in the end. I mean,
that was the French SpongeBob guy. For anyone, I'm sorry. I won't do that again.
It's all right. You've had like no sleep. It's fine.
I can't believe I made it through all the games last night.
Yeah, I said to you as the Panama game finished, like, no chance am I committing to this Tunisia kickoff, and I was awake by half time, but hadn't engaged in the game at all. But yeah,
I think the frustrating thing for me is I don't mind watching 4 matches in a day, but I feel like the gaps between are not big enough.
Yeah,
and it's like, I kind of want to like eat now, or I kind of want to just like chill for a bit, but it's like bang, 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 and I don't watch all of the analysis, but that hour in between goes by so quickly. Yeah. Not that they kick off on time. I don't know if you've seen all the stuff about that. Yeah. There's about 2 or 3 late kickoffs all over the shop. But as World Cup openings go, not too bad.
It's not bad at all. And I think now we're 22.5 minutes in. This is the perfect time for a hydration break.
Oh well, I'll see you in 3 minutes.
Yeah. I've just got some tactics to be heard of, but yeah.
Should we just sit here for 3 minutes?
Yeah. That's no. I'll
in complete silence.
I'll cut and paste an advert in for those to listen to, and then we'll rejoin.
All right.
And we're back. There we go. I mean, it sort of fits perfectly with I think what's going to be the bulk of our chat today, with the worst thing that FIFA brought in for this World
Cup. I honestly cannot disagree more with this, because clearly a bad idea.
Yeah.
And then to see it play out in the opening game was bad enough, and then just every time it's like, another one and another one, twice a match. Goodness me. I mean, we're all being taken for mugs, basically.
Yeah.
We've got hydration breaks. Sorry, we've got ad breaks masquerading as hydration breaks. And it's so the fact that they're just pulling this on us and just like going along with it. There's just no respect for football fans across the world here. Because they're happening regardless of what the weather is.
Oh yeah.
Which is probably my main complaint about it, because I'm absolutely all for a hydration break if they're playing in 30-degree heat. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know if those hydration breaks were always 3 minutes, You know when they did it in like Brazil. I think they brought him in
Yeah,
Brazil.
I think the Club World Cup last year that was the first time I'd seen them have a set time limit type thing. Yeah, but I
Yeah,
think
but
once before
I
then,
don't think that. I mean, obviously that's very that that is very sorry. I need a
words
drink. I
hard.
think.
Yeah.
um, it's very sort of suitable for like an advert,
Mm-hmm.
to come and go in 3 minutes,
Mm.
or loads back to back or whatever. But in terms of actually taking a break to have a drink, that doesn't take 3 minutes. So
No.
that duration is dictated by what it really is,
Yeah.
i.e.,
Yeah.
an ad break.
Mm.
Um, and it just takes the absolute piss. Last night, where they did it in the England game in an air conditioned stadium where it was barely 20 degrees.
Yeah.
Um, and it was even actually probably even worse in the Ghana Panama game where it was chucking it down with rain. It wasn't even
Oh,
cold,
yeah. Of course it was.
so it
Yeah.
wasn't even hot.
Mm. Yeah. I think
Um,
there's been about 3 or 4 games where the journalists who were there reporting it, it's like, yeah, it's only 14 degrees here today, but we're having a hydration break because we need it, right? Yeah, like, it does. Just I don't want to say I understand, but I do understand why they've made it universal across the games because they can caveat it as making it fair, equal, and everything. But
no, no, no,
yeah, I
no,
know.
no, no.
As
That's
soon as I said that, I
that's
was like, no, I am just making excuses
part
for
of the
them.
bollocks.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the if because the previous way they did it was if it's too hot, you get a drinks break,
mm,
and if it's not too hot, that's probably like the scenario you would take. You'd rather it was just not too hot in the first place
yeah,
and not have to run around in it for 90
no,
minutes.
yeah,
So I don't see how. And also, players can take drinks during the game anyway. You don't
yeah.
need a
It's
break to take on fluids.
yeah,
There's always just injuries going on.
natural stoppages. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, mm,
So it's a convenient excuse.
yeah,
Is probably the kindest way I could put it. I hate this idea as well. Obviously, because obviously it's essentially divided the game into quarters, and
hmm
that's very like almost like American coded with American football, etc. Um, but if you take American football as an example, um, splitting the game up into quarters kind of lends itself to the game itself, or at least the stop-start nature of it. The sport is stop-start already,
yeah,
so like having a break at the quarters is not weird or even annoying in that sport. Like, because even like between plays, the plays take time to set up, and this is part of the game, and
mm,
there's just no action going on, and we talk all the time about how long was the ball in play and all that kind of stuff, but American football is genuinely half of it is standing around waiting for the action to begin.
yeah,
And it's what is it 15 minutes in total because they've got a
mm,
stop clock
yeah, yeah,
in
yeah,
that. So I think it's not about sort of making it sort of aligning it with the culture of North America or whatever, because
mm,
that's just not a thing. Um, and I just clearly, I mean, fans clearly disapprove of it as well. There was huge boos in the Ghana game last night, especially.
mm.
Um, Probably because fans were getting wet while it was happening.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um,
The England fans booed it quite loudly as well, which I found quite fun. So yeah, that's the English culture right there. We know exactly what FIFA are
yeah,
doing with this.
makes you proud to be British,
Yeah,
English.
yeah, mm.
But also, I think the other horrible aspect of it is that the game itself does genuinely suffer just
Yeah.
from the
There's
break in play, the loss of momentum, and just like energy in the stadium.
Oh yeah, this is the main bulk of what I want to get into with this because there have been a good. I mean, there's been two good articles I've seen where it's been so clearly evidenced that the momentum shifts completely in these hydration breaks. Like I think it came the best example I can think of is during the Curacao game where they were still on top of Germany at 1-1 going into that in the 22nd minute, and as soon as they had the hydration game, it flipped on its head and Germany scored almost immediately after it. It just breaks it up completely, and all the
Yeah.
momentum
I
teams
mean,
have disappears.
it doesn't inherently cause that.
No.
You could argue that it can rejuvenate or, help the team that's already on top. You could argue that.
Yeah.
But the annoying thing about that for me is they've gone all out to like avoid team talks if like a keeper's injured, and then they've purposefully like installed a part of the game where you can just do that.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, it's not a delay because it's part of the game,
Mm.
but now they're doing the thing you didn't want them to do when in a different set of circumstances.
Yeah, just completely contradict themselves for no real reason. And I think it's good as we've seen with the World Cup going on, how much fans are catching on to it and how much it is being
Yeah.
panned as it should be. I mean, there's still the usual suspects who are really enjoying it. Alexi Lalas being the main culprit.
I was hoping we'd get onto him today.
Yeah, we're only just about got through everyone's first game, and I'm amazed Latan and Thierry Henry haven't killed him yet. I mean, they've come very close on multiple occasions. I think the France Senegal game was the best example of that, where Zlatan basically called him ignorant to his face, which was wonderful. But yeah, it's I don't know how FIFA can keep caveating this. It's been nice to see the British broadcasters sort of learn how to fill the gap better and better as it's gone on. Obviously, we've had Emma Hayes been drafted in to give some tactical breakdowns during that, which has been a great addition. I mean, she should be given some better tools to do that with because it is just a basic chalkboard, which makes it a little bit difficult for her. But she is a professional and world class at what she does, so that's brought in brilliantly. I mean, having it during the England game last night has unsurprisingly brought out all the worst people on the woodwork.
Yeah, I really, really cannot fathom how people just don't find that even just remotely interesting.
Yeah, it's just blatant misogyny at that point that they brought in someone who is ridiculously talented and good at the game to give a tactical breakdown, which you don't need to have played men's football to understand.
And also, it wasn't like waffle either. No. It was like, okay, I wasn't thinking about that in that way. It was like Pickford's role in build-ups and stuff, and how it frees up the players up top, and
how Croatia
playing that's not how my brain works. That's like I find real value in that, and credit to ITV for utilizing the ridiculousness of the break to do that mid-game when it's super relevant. Because I mean, I don't know how much people watch the halftime analysis or post-match analysis, so to kind of force it on people and give you someone that's worth listening to is just really clever. And
you might learn something when you don't need to. As you say, being forced on you.
BBC's attempt at that has just been to sort of nudge people towards TikTok channels and QR codes and things.
Yeah, they have got a little bit better in terms of they've started going back to the studio. I think the first couple of games they were just staying with the commentators who had nothing more to say than what they'd said already. Or at least they've been going back to the pundits in the studio who can give a bit more insight than what the commentators can. But yeah, there's nowhere near how good High TV have utilised it, and I'm intrigued to see if it can evolve even further as the tournament goes on. But
yeah, I do wonder if BBC are concocting a plan of like, oh shit, they've got one on us here.
Yeah,
might need to buck our ideas up a little bit. So we'll see. But also, the other sort of gripe I've got with the hydration breaks is, so obviously those are 3 minutes, and I believe that there's a lack of added time, almost as a result of it. I feel like they're ignoring it terms of when the added time. Well,
no, I think haven't they uniformly been adding 3 minutes on after every half at least?
Well, if you take yesterday's game, there were 5 minutes added on.
Yeah.
there was obviously a hydration break,
Mm.
3 goals, and a retaken penalty
Yeah.
at a minimum. So is that really? Are we saying that all of that, apart from the hydration break, was 2 minutes?
I guess the caveat to
Not
that would
sure.
be
There
is
was a
just
and there was a goal within the 5 minutes as well.
yeah, yeah. They've obviously stopped it back on the time, but yeah, I guess the caveat to that would be is that's just the officials being their useless selves as always. That they're not adding on the amount of time they should be adding on for a penalty retake and something like that. So maybe it's just that rather than actually adding on from the hydration break that they've. It's yeah, it could be one or the other, but I think it's more likely to be the second one. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
I take your point. I don't understand why they don't just stop the clock and then restart it from where they played off of.
But
I
that's never happened. I'm not
yeah,
expecting
yeah,
them
I
to
know
do that.
that's a gripe that people have had with football since the dawn of time. That yeah, the stopping
I,
the clock wasn't a
I,
thing.
100% people will just get annoyed with that as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
I
people will
think
find fault in
people will get frustrated by because as soon as you do a stop clock, um, when there's still going to be like goals after the 90, and
yeah,
people would just lose their minds because like if there's 5 minutes added on and there's an attack at 94 minutes 59 seconds, they're probably going to play it out. It'll be
mm,
like that, and people will get
yeah,
annoyed,
mm.
and even people always ignore the minimum
Oh yeah,
thing
yeah.
with
People have
with
to
added time as
people
well.
still have to be reminded of that, and even now is yeah amazes me. 'Cause,
Yeah,
yeah,
because that means it could be another 59 seconds for
yeah, yeah. It's
um we don't know,
no,
and so that's down to the ref. Only the ref really knows that,
hmm
and and what are we gonna do, man?
yeah. I know. Yeah, there's not much we can do,
I
and
don't I don't think there's I don't think people are gonna win or get what they want with this,
no, no. People aren't
unfortunately.
going to change their minds on anything like that, which is yeah, it's how they always have been, and
I don't expect them, or I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't happen at the next World Cup.
yeah.
I do feel like there is an Americanization to this
Mm. Yeah, considering the
thing.
next one's in a relatively warm climate of Morocco and Spain and Portugal, that
Well, they
it,
might just end up doing it anyway for safety reasons.
yeah, yeah, it might be by force. There could be a game that's about 40 degrees for whatever reason, but yeah, it won't be something that they will be highlighting months in advance, or maybe well, even in this case years in advance. So yeah, this is going to be something that's going to come in for the game, but yeah, no, I mean we could sit here and drone on about that for ages. So I mean we
Absolutely.
touched on the next point already, which is quite nice, which is the disparity between the BBC and ITV coverage, and I think we're both in the same court here, which is quite interesting that we're both ashamed to admit that ITV have been quite comfortably winning the coverage race in this
Yeah, I
tournament
mean,
so
you
far.
say ashamed. I think I think naturally you want to side with the state broadcaster,
Yeah, yeah,
um, because we're paying for it,
yeah.
partly.
And don't have to
But
sit through adverts on it.
but
Yeah.
also it has often been the best out of the two,
Oh
and
yeah.
I don't get much joy out of seeing their sort of fall from grace. Sounds a bit dramatic,
No.
but like um, it doesn't feel like um, it's iconic or anything like that. Do you know what I
No.
mean?
Yeah.
Um, a lot has been made about the fact that they're not on site, uh, as it were.
Hmm.
That I think is a non-issue because the difference is ITV have got Statue of Liberty at the back and it's real, and uh, BBC have got skyscrapers in the back and they're not real, or they're not
Agree.
really there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's
I
not
agree.
really making a difference to the viewing experience.
No.
But I do think that is sort of emblematic of the gulf in perhaps the budget that BBC and ITV have got in terms of the
Hmm.
pundits they've been able to bring together. I think
Hmm.
the punditry lineup on I think I think on paper they're not bad,
No, I
but
remember looking at them when they were announced both at the same time, thinking, "Oh, there's a good balance there. There'll be people adding in different things on both." And yeah, I think
I
there's
think I've just found ITV's pundits, basically all of them, have been very, very watchable, and knowledgeable about the game, and their level of input has been entertaining enough. I think that's the key,
Yeah,
because
yeah. I think they're
you
yeah
can,
they're
you can
they're
say all
really
you like about, you know, BBC have got people who've been there and done that, but they're
mm,
not necessarily made for punditry.
no, yeah. I mean, there's ITV have. I will say a couple of theirs. As like Duncan Ferguson's been a bit weak in my opinion, but he, as
He,
you
I've
say,
I've
brings.
seen him take some flack for sure.
Yeah, but he has brought a bit of entertainment, which is because when Wycliffe John came into the studio in ITV, and he obviously from Haiti, and he took great issue with Duncan Ferguson being Scottish. So, but all in good jest. So yeah, that was worth Duncan Ferguson's inclusion alone. And like it would be easy to sort of throw a stick at Joby McAnuff because he's not someone who's a big name in football, but he's good at his job and is a very good pundit, which is why ITV have brought him in. And so yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
and also, he's an international footballer. He's got the knowledge of those Caribbean nations as
Yeah,
well,
yeah, that's
and
yeah,
he's experienced. He's been doing EFL coverage for ages,
yeah, yeah.
and definitely knows his stuff, knows how to do it,
Hmm.
and doesn't look out of place. I think
No,
maybe by name, maybe
yeah,
a little
that's
bit,
how. Yeah,
but that's not really important.
no, no, exactly. And as you say, with the BBC ones, they have been at least maybe 4 or 5 of them who have just been really under par. And those who are listening who know me know how much I love Olivier Giroud, and he's one of those players who, for no reason whatsoever, was one of my favourites when he was at Chelsea. But to see him not be very good at punditry has been really depressing for me because he's.
Yeah,
You just think he would have that natural charisma to be really good at the job, and you'd think BBC wouldn't bring him in if he wasn't going to be someone who can add a lot
they
to
surely
it.
test these guys.
Exactly, yeah, they would have all been screen tested, you expect, and yeah, he has just been weak. Even on the France Senegal game, I thought he'd turn it up a notch a little bit for him when his nation's involved, and Mbappe beats his record, and he's still a little bit. It just
I
he
feel
comes
I
across
feel
as
like he's just
unenthusiastic.
like really, really just like polite, and I
Yeah,
think he's kind of scared of coming out his shell,
mm,
and I also think maybe he just doesn't have huge opinions about stuff.
yeah,
Like, if you take the Portugal game yesterday, he was just like, "Oh, I was really disappointed about Portugal. I thought they were going to play really well, but they didn't play really well, and
mm,
they didn't play really well, and they didn't play really well at all."
yeah, yeah. Thanks,
And
thanks.
and then you've got like Gabby Logan or Mark Chapman like saving the day, like moving the conversation on as quickly as possible,
Yeah, yeah.
because like you're not giving me anything to go on. You're not taking
No,
this debate
yeah,
anywhere, Olivier. Come on,
exactly.
give
I
me
can't
something.
can't spin this into another point because yeah, you've not added anything. Yeah, it's been tough to watch, but I mean that's the thing with the BBC as well. The balance they have employed with the pundits and the hosts is it's a big gulf. Like Wayne Rooney's been the BBC's number one guy for the last 2 seasons. Like he is the pundit you see on everything, and he's got his own podcast show and everything else, and he's. He's got a lot better. I'll give him that in the last
He
couple of years.
what I was gonna say, he's got a lot better. He's been also made to look good.
Yeah,
I would argue.
it's a fair point as well. Yeah, yeah. Because I remember when he first came in on Match of the Day, and he was pretty poor, but his analysis has improved quite a bit and
Yes,
everything
no,
else.
no. I'll give him that. I'll give him that for
But
sure.
but again, with the Portugal game yesterday, he was. I think he's blinded by some relationship he has with Ronaldo because he did not
Yeah,
criticize that man enough. I don't think, in my opinion, and it didn't really
but
move it
that
along.
that that's the annoying thing. He's a striker. He's the guy who is in the best position to criticize
Mm,
Ronaldo.
yeah,
Um, and yeah,
yeah,
that's kind of what we want. Not from like a drama perspective, but just
no.
from we need. I want someone to tell me what he should be doing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're there to do, and that's exactly what ITV have, not just with Emma Hayes, but with Ange Postecoglou as well. Has been,
And just been good. Yeah,
yeah, it just goes to show like you have people who have been in management who can sort of present themselves as in
you got
punditry levels
you
are
got a
really
great
good.
women's manager, and you got shite men's manager, and they're perfect together.
Yeah, they're both really good. It's why Ange has. There's a lot of people who still respect Ange as a manager because he can talk really well about the game and his tactical mind is clearly
Well,
there.
you could be really clever and like just the football just not go for you when you're
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you're in the big time.
you can't quite put it into
That's
practice.
that's sport
No,
in a way.
exactly. Yeah, And another thing as well, I think that's been quite funny is seeing Micah Richards just be sort of stranded away from all his mates who are all on the ITV coverage, and he's taken the BBC
Well,
role.
yeah, because ITV have basically got that. They've basically got the Overlap podcast
Yeah,
on there.
yeah, they do, don't they? Yeah, and they've got.
And they've already got, so they've got like existing camaraderie.
Yeah.
Obviously they're very experienced in front of the camera. They do this all the time,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah.
um, there's always that chance that they'll get into a little bit of a fight or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it was game one where Neville and Wright nearly tore each other's heads off. Why are you getting that worked up about maybe it is, maybe it isn't foul from Mexico v South Africa? Like, whereas on the BBC you're getting none of that. You are just getting Giroud's politeness, and it's a
yeah,
shame.
I thought Gael Clichy spoke rather well in the France game.
Yeah,
He was all right.
it was interesting because I spent a lot of the pre-match of that. I don't know why I couldn't work out who he was until his name finally flashed up, because he was. I was like, oh, of course it is. Yeah, he's really recognisable. But yeah, I think it's because I hadn't seen him on the punditry already that I hadn't quite worked it out. But yeah, no, he did a very good job. He was.
I thought Benny McCarthy was decent as well.
Yeah, he's been on, I think, stateside of punditry for quite a while on American TV. So I think he's been a good get.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was the Kenya manager.
Oh, is he? No, I didn't know that
Yeah,
either.
well that's why they brought him in to do which one was it? It was one of the African Ivory Coast, Ecuador, I think he was on.
Right, okay, yeah.
And yeah, they did some clips of them playing in some awful conditions, and they were laughing about that. And those kinds of things are quite fun. But obviously, he's seen those teams up close, and he's planned games against them and stuff. So that was really good.
Yeah.
So they can do it, but I think they're just hamstrung a little bit, the BBC.
Yeah.
And annoyingly, I think it's not their fault, but the perception is that they're not trying hard enough or something like that.
The overwhelming sort of thought I've seen online is they should be doing better, whereas they're sort of a bit stuck. It's been interesting to see the usual crowd of like Daily Mail sort of criticising them for being under par, and all the comments on those sort of pieces are, well, if they had sent everyone out there, you'd be saying the exact opposite. So you can't.
Look at where the licence payers' money's going.
Yeah, exactly. BBC are in a corner in that sense where they can't win with that sort of crowd, but. Yeah,
but also, they're probably doing the right thing if they're doing it as cheaply as possible. It can't be. I mean, it won't be cheap.
No.
I imagine they'll go out there for the latter stages.
Yeah, that is sort of what has been reported as the plan. So from the quarterfinals onwards, they'll send that list out.
There has been, I don't know if it's faux outrage or not, but there's been people angry that there's no highlight show.
Yeah.
I don't know what you make of it, but I mean, I don't know if I consume the World Cup in the way everyone else does, but if I'm watching games when they're not being played, I'm not really fussed by analysis. Like, I'm really, really not. And to the point where I'm just like, just show me the goals.
Yeah.
And they have got every single game on the iPlayer. And they're not like bite-sized highlights either. They're like between 7 and 9 minutes. It's a decent chunk. You get a flavour of the game, and that's all you need. I don't really, if people want to watch analysis, that's fine. But I'm not buying it if there's like widespread clamour for a highlight show. It would have to be early in the morning because they can't just. They're broadcasting half the day anyway. So where are you going to put it? And then if you miss that, you're going to watch it on iPlayer anyway.
Yeah. No.
So I didn't really get the anger about that. I get it might be convenient for people going to work or whatever, but.
Yeah, no, I was sort of in the camp of those who wanted one before the tournament started, because it just felt weird to me to have a World Cup where there isn't a highlight show at some point, but. As the tournament's gone on, I've gone to completely understand why they haven't, because the highlights that they're offering on the iPlayer, the spoiler-free highlights that I have been consuming as soon as I wake up for the games I've missed overnight, and they are great. You're getting sort of commentary from different standpoints from a lot of them, commentary from like people like Casey Stoney's on co-coms, or last night for the Uzbekistan game you had James McFadden, and Leon Osman's been on there too. So they've got a good range of people there who are giving you good tactical insights on the highlights that you're seeing. I mean, I know for the Austria-Jordan game the other morning, they didn't have anyone in the studio whatsoever. They just had 5 minutes
that
build up
that
straight
that
into
was
the
another
game.
thing I wanted to bring up actually,
Mm.
because that's been that when they've had the 5 a.m. kickoff, that's been their approach. I mean, that's what they did last night
Oh, they
for
do it as well. Yeah,
Uzbekistan,
yeah,
Portugal, not Portugal, Colombia,
yeah,
um, and I don't feel great about that, to be honest. But
yeah. No,
again, it's going to come down to money.
yeah. It's
But
who can we employ? Who's going to
it
want to do
it
tactical
that
analysis rather
definitely
than
comes across as when I mean, if you are going to do that, you are going to do that on those late night, early morning kickoffs, like
Mhm.
last one of the day,
Yeah.
where the viewership is going to be at its lowest. That
Hmm.
if you are going to do it, that's how you do it. Sure, but it does kind of feel like they're showing not a lack of respect, but they're not giving when they don't give some games the same treatment as others. It's like,
Yeah.
well, because say if I was part Jordan,
Hmm.
Jordanian,
I think it's Jordanian. Yeah.
Jordanian,
Yeah.
I'd love a deep dive into Jordan or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
like from the BBC. That'd be class.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be really good.
Mm.
I thought it was especially bad slash unfortunate that they did this when they had the 2 a.m. kickoff between Iran and New Zealand.
Mm.
And obviously, because loads of stuff going on about Iran, it's amazing that they're even taking part in all this stuff. There's so much to talk about,
Mm.
and yet they gave it 10 minutes of build up, and it was just, oh, here are the players arriving, and now they're walking out the tunnel.
Mm. Mm.
And I was like, that would
Yeah.
have been a great opportunity to go over those issues and
Yeah. Make a proper highlight of those goings on that should have the
yeah,
spotlight.
it was just
Give it.
a huge opportunity missed.
Yeah.
Um, and as much as I can understand why they've got that game though, and ITV don't, so
Yeah.
ITV don't have a chance to do that,
Hmm.
and then they're just going, well, here are the players,
Yeah. Yeah.
and uh, the flip side to that argument is I do think that pre-match stuff goes on for way too long, just in general. Like
Hmm.
when TNT Sport have a Premier League game, I don't care. I really don't care. Just
Like
like
15 minutes should be all you need. No, you don't need
that.
a whole
That
hour.
is what it used to be. I think we said this
Yeah.
the other day.
Yeah. Yeah. We have done, haven't we? Yeah.
Um, and that was fine unless it was a huge game. Unless it was a Champions League final, you might get an hour, hour and a half.
Hmm.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But you get 15 minutes. Atmosphere's rising. You can have a chat with the pundits. You can
Mm.
look at the teams. You can do all sorts of stuff. You get an interview in.
Yeah.
You can do loads in 15 minutes,
Mm.
and that would probably keep me watching. When it's an hour, I'm like, what are they going to drone on about before we even get to see the football pitch?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's
A lot of both. I think both broadcasters have been guilty of this sort of thing as well, where they have all this time to fill, and they've
it's like every game is a huge event,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it's not really.
yeah. A
But when
lot
it's
of
the
them.
World Cup, it is.
Oh yeah, no, of course, and a lot of them they've had games where they've gone away to talk about a big game happening later, or a bit of England coverage when it's nothing to do with the game, and it's like you've got this whole hour to fill. You need to dedicate it to the two teams playing, because I think ITV's coverage of the whole hour build up yesterday, saw quite a bit of it, and I will say they did a really good piece that Gabriel Clark narrated over with Harry Kane at Bayern this season. They went out to the final, the DFB Pokal final in Berlin, and interviewed Bayern fans and gave a good insight of his season, because I know a lot of people in England won't have watched any of Bayern Munich this season, so that sort of thing is good for that sort of hour build up. But I agree with you that for the late games, the BBC aren't giving the sort of coverage to that they should. It is a great shame, because these late games have involved teams that maybe you would think sort of on paper they're not going to get the sort of viewership for, and that does feel like they are not giving them the respect they deserve, which they should earn it, because all the group stage games of the World Cup should be equal coverage. But going back to all the way back to the original point that we started on, I do see why they haven't done the early morning coverage, because who would that be for? It's their that anyone who would want to watch it, who works a job, won't have time to watch a highlight show in the morning anyway because they'll be going straight to work, so they're not going to tune in for that.
It
Anyone
would it
who
would
works
be
from
like
home,
a good hour and a half if there's 4 matches.
yeah, 100%, yeah. So it'd be a big filler show that they have
You're
to
not
do.
watching that on the train on the way up to work, or
No,
some
exactly.
people drive anyway. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when are you going to do it?
Exactly. And then anyone who's working from home would have the same sort of problem. You might put it on in the background, but then you're not going to be consuming it for what it would be, which is insight of the analysis. The highlights that they put online are so worth it. I mean, those who have sort of been still, maybe as you said, maybe it's faux outrage, maybe it's not. I think Jake Humphrey's probably the biggest name I've seen who put a big tweet out saying it's an opportunity
I hated
missed.
that because he put that out well after like people were already angry about it. I feel
Yeah.
like he was doing it because he knew it would do numbers.
Yeah, so it was like game three or day 3 or 4. Did what I
Oh,
think
is
was
this your original thought, Jake? Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
weird. That
Yes,
everybody already said they're really pissed off about it.
that's really high performance of you. Yeah, yeah, wonderful, wonderful. But yeah, it's what was my point I was trying to make on that? Yeah, so yeah, whether it's faux outrage or not, I don't. The media's changed so much between sort of maybe 2 World Cups ago to now that the way people consume football is so much different that I don't. I understand why neither of them have sort of paid the pundits another wage to go be on TV for another hour and a half and sort of give us the coverage that maybe they're not really going to be consumed by a lot of people. So I understand why that has been the case, and I mean, we're still very early days with the World Cup. I mean, it might change as the rounds go on. It would be
I'm
quite
sure it will.
nice. To,
I think obviously we won't have 4 games a day for much longer,
no, that's yeah, that's it.
so
So they
that's
might,
going to
yeah.
be part of it.
I don't know whether they're planning to bring it in from like the round of 16 onwards for when they have only sort of 1 or 2 big games, but I doubt it
Oh,
entirely.
I think it'll be well before that, where every game is going to be the same
Yeah,
because it's only the second round of games really where you get the same issue
yeah,
as
especially
what
when
we've
we get
got.
yeah
Because
when we get to the
the
third round.
last round of games you got simultaneous. Obviously, you're going to cover that because it's conclusion to the groups,
Yes,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think they're super late. Um,
No, I think there's
those ones,
maybe one round that's at 3 in the morning, and then
yeah,
yeah, the other there'll be a handful at about midnight or 1 a.m. But yeah, I don't think there's any that are at 5 like we've seen.
just
Yeah, have a double
taking a
check
look
just
now.
in case
Yeah,
we are.
there's
That.
there actually no,
Yeah, yeah,
there's a
good.
lot
Have a
of
look.
late ones.
Okay. Yeah,
um,
just fair enough. Yeah,
but you can't half-ass that. When
yeah,
you've got 2 games
no,
going on at the same time and you've got the teams going to go out. Like,
exactly. Yeah, so I imagine they'll do their usual and split them across their 2 separate channels, and they'll give equal sort of coverage to both. Like you'll have Chapman on one and Gary Logan on the other on the BBC, and then of course the two Pugach on one and Laura Woods on the other for ITV. So yeah, they'll give it exactly what the coverage would need to be. So it's it's been interesting that we're at this stage, and the both media teams have had so much to give us to talk about. It's yeah interesting to watch, and I mean with I mean we touched on Lalas and the American coverage as well. It's all angles
I
and
think
often
I think we can say what we want about Olivier Giroud and whatever. I think
mm-hmm.
Lallis takes the biscuit. I
Oh
think
yeah, yeah. Considering a lot of American soccer football fans do not like him either. I think a lot of them are quite. I think I've seen a few tweets where a lot of them are quite glad that he's being exposed to the world as being this annoying,
yeah, but
arrogant
in a
person.
weird way, I think his the things that make him annoying is also his appeal in a way. Like it kind of
Yeah.
makes him
Mm-hmm.
watchable. Like it's almost
Yeah,
like
yeah. I suppose we wouldn't be talking about him if he was a mundane sort of American journalist, would we? Because we're seeing the clips
like
because he is
if
being, yeah,
BBC were going to bring
like
in Lallis for tonight's games, I'd be like, that might be fun. Like I
yeah,
might
yeah.
be
That could
interested
be.
in seeing him screw up or say something ridiculous, like how aroused
Mhm.
he was by an opening ceremony.
Yeah, or
Um,
drop a definite swear word that would be a swear word in this country if he says it on BBC broadcast.
ah,
Yeah,
one
no,
can
brilliant.
hope. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, I think there's one more major thing that has slightly annoyed me. Um, off the back of last night, and that's beer throwing.
hmm
And I don't know about you, But we did say this last time following Champions League final,
Hmm.
whereby if you're going to throw beer, it kind of has to match the moment.
Yeah.
Um, it has to fit the occasion.
Hmm.
And personally, a 12th minute retaken penalty in the first group game of a 48-team World Cup is a bit. I'm not sure that warranted getting drowned in beer, mate.
Yeah, that's when you know those moments are forced and people are just doing it for the sake of doing it. I think it's
Because if you get a penalty, you kind of know that it's probably gonna. You got 8%
yeah,
chance of scoring,
yeah.
essentially.
There's no sort of spontaneousness about it, is there?
Yeah, and
And
that early, it's not necessarily critical, and it's not a crucial game. It's not
hmm.
like we need to get the first. I mean, yeah, okay, we do really, really want to win,
Yeah,
but it's not like a knockout game where you were playing a big team or
yeah.
we're
If you don't,
springing a surprise on someone or something like that. This is just the game going to plan very much,
hmm.
and yeah, like you said, lack of spontaneity about it.
Yeah,
Just adds to it. Also, you then have to go and get a refill, and
hmm.
consider, depending on where you are, that might take a while.
Yeah,
You probably
and cost quite a bit of money. Yeah.
yes, and that's the last note I wrote down here is beer is expensive!
Yeah.
Exclamation mark.
Especially in these venues where the watch parties are, where you see these clips mostly from. If you're buying a beer in Box Park, you're paying about 7 or 8 quid for that pint. That's a lot of money you're just throwing in the air for no
See,
reason.
that actually sounds quite good. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
have
don't know
really
about you.
undersold that. Yeah, I should have said at least a tenner. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
think yeah.
But yeah,
That
no,
then you're getting ridiculous. Also, I don't know about you, but when I see fans celebrating in fan parks and stuff, limbs is way better than seeing shoots of beer going up.
oh yeah.
Like that's what I want to see. Like, did you? If you, I take it you've seen the Congo fans going at it in Lisbon.
Oh yeah, in the middle of
That's
the crowd.
incredible.
Yeah, yeah. One, they've all found
Like
each other, and yeah, taking no liberties
that's the
whatsoever.
content I'm here for.
Yeah, yeah, that's a much better way because I think it's well, I remember it well from Euro 24 when we won 1-0 in our opening game for that, and the clips were coming out from Box Park, people lobbing their pint when Bellingham scored. It wasn't long into the game. It's just like this is going far too far now, and it's going to carry on. I think this stems back. It probably did happen before this, but the first time I remember seeing this sort of thing was like Euro 2016 when we scored that late goal against Wales in the
Yeah.
qualifying game. And that's the first time I remember seeing that, and that's of course a last minute winner against a home nation in a tournament. That was quite
And
a
it was
big
our
moment.
first win, and we were like, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. We're
that
obviously
that's the
falling the
thing.
rush
It
already. Yeah,
needs that authentic, natural feeling of euphoria to go with it.
yeah,
Otherwise, it's just, oh, we scored a goal.
yeah.
Yeah, we're playing
Yeah.
football, mate.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. What a surprise! And so yeah, it's I think because that moment went really viral as well, and that sort of stemmed to oh, that's the dumb thing. It's quite fun to do that, whereas it's just
But
not.
because that's what I think that's the main reason we gather for. We're gathering for those moments of euphoria and enjoying that together. It's not about
Mm,
getting wet or
yeah, no, exactly. Yeah,
because
hundred
that's
percent.
essentially what the gimmick is. That's the fun of it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what it's for.
No,
Like
no,
it's A, there to get you a bit drunk
yeah,
and um just some light refreshment during the match where
mm,
you're standing for an hour and a half or
hmm,
whatever and having a
yeah,
good time with your mates. And it's those joyous feelings that you're there for. It's not doing all this nonsense.
no, exactly.
Uh,
Yeah,
you know, when it gets to the crunch time, then we can have fun. I mean, I was definitely not expecting Arsenal to score 6 minutes into the Champions League final,
mm,
and as I said, I absolutely don't mind getting drenched in that situation.
mm,
That was, I was quite surprised how people were quite happy to just part with their full drinks. Obviously, people barely walked into the ground at that
yeah.
point.
So, yeah, a lot of them would have just started to drink.
People just totally happy to chuck it all.
Mm,
Um, and yeah, I think we'll know when that moment fits, and
mm,
and if we get that far. I think people will behave accordingly. But it was kind of annoying seeing people do that last night. I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to fire your beer into the Budapest sky, you can. It's fine, right? Sorry, we're talking about the Champions League final, so I have to throw that in there.
I can't believe you've thrown the Peter Drury line for Gabriel's missed penalty at me when
Had to
that's
be.
all I've seen on Twitter for the last week.
Yeah, that is not one of
Oh,
yours
look
at
at this video. Oh no, it's Gabriel again.
all. 3 weeks down the line, it's brilliant. Yeah,
It's annoying because I know when it's that kind of video, and I
Yeah.
watch it every single time.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see ones where they have been quite clever with it, and you're not expecting it in them to appear up. A lot of them are quite obvious, especially when it's a penalty being taken. But there's some that's been quite a surprise, which is quite.
It's like,
fun.
oh, I can't believe I missed this in the Argentina game.
Yeah.
Ah, this is a Gabriel pen, isn't it?
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, I know.
But I'll
Yeah.
check just to make sure.
Yeah, of course, there might be something I'll be able to miss out.
Oh, they've baited me in again.
Wonderful.
I can't believe it.
No, but the last point on this with the beer throwing is the clip that I saw at the end of the England game last night in the crowd at the stadium was from Rashford's fourth goal. It cut to an England fan in the crowd who had a quite clearly full can of beer and he was just waving it backwards and forwards, going all over the place. And the top tweet I saw of that is like, I love alcohol. I love drinking when I go to the football, but this is why I'm totally against it being allowed in the crowd because you will just get idiots like that. I mean, fair enough. Yes, when we scored that fourth goal, it meant the game was safe, and it was
That was the
like,
clincher, yeah.
it was a big feeling, but it's still not. We haven't taken the lead in the last minute or anything like that.
I think yeah. I mean, I'm watching it at home. Rashford's goal goes in. I'm not running around the house going,
Yeah, I'm
that's the kind
slightly
of.
more than I did for the other three. Well, maybe Bellingham's probably equal level, but yeah, it's not to a point.
I think
where
that was
am.
my biggest celebration of the day, the Rashford one.
Yeah,
The
First time we've
confirmation.
gone 2 goals up. Yeah, when we
Yeah.
moved away twice. It's
And it was a good goal as well.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was so perfectly well worked. But yeah, it's again, you just don't need to do it. And I imagine that fan probably paid about $16 for that beer as
That's
well.
the other thing. The prices up there would be ridiculous. Do you think it's
Yeah.
ridiculous over here in London or wherever? Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't want to know.
No, exactly. And
Don't know.
I mean, that's sort of insight. I mean, we've managed to go through the whole week of the World Cup and do our review and not really give much of a slating to the United States. Or I mean, Mexico were always never going to get sort of slatings from us, but how they've sort of approached it and everything. But there has been some good things which I've been quite pleasantly surprised to see on my algorithms this week. That not all Americans are arseholes, and there are actually quite
No?
good people who live over there. I know it's
Oh.
amazing. I mean, I seemingly completely forgot that when I said last week that I wanted to hate watch them during this tournament. And I will admit I was slightly annoyed when they comfortably beat Paraguay earlier this week. But
Hey, they look good.
they did look, well, yeah.
I mean, Paraguay were terrible.
Yes, yeah.
Absolutely. The Paraguay just forgot how to, like. How many times I was like, all right, kick out the box now, lads.
Yeah, no, let's keep building up really, really slowly from the back. Yeah, this isn't going to kick us out again. No, they'll forget. But, yeah, no.
But yeah, no, they look part.
Yeah, if they had a decent goalkeeper and didn't have Tim Ream, 39-year-old Tim Ream playing at centre back, they would be an actual real threat. Which is,
I've no idea how good Fries is. So
no, yeah, not a clue.
maybe he's a gem. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, there's some of the clips that we've been seeing of fans at the World Cup this week. You sort of forget on all the build-up that it's still a World Cup. You're still going to get hundreds of fans from all the different nations setting up in different places, and there are going to be some great clips out there. And a lot of the places where teams have gone, the people who live there have been really welcoming. I don't know if you've seen any of the people of Lawrence, Kansas, who have welcomed out the Algerian team with open arms. So much so.
This sounds far too joyous and happy for me. I don't think I've seen any of it.
Grown men who were being interviewed who are just so happy that their town's been picked by Algeria to be their base, and they said we're going to welcome any team who came here, no matter which ones they were, with the open arms. And there's clips from their training where the local school band have learned the Algerian national anthem and are playing that for them as they arrive. Their sort of local cuisine have been learned by local cafes and things like that for the fans to be served. It's just, and as I said at the top of this point, it's just so amazing to see that there are still really good people who live in that massive country. Unsurprisingly, they're not all massive annoying pricks as they annoyingly have that sort of what's the word, the stereotype of being, which sadly, their president has pushed towards the masses in countries elsewhere. So, but it's not just been there as well. I mean, I've seen lots of clips of Japanese fans who have been welcomed really nicely. There's a really great clip of a guy who he caveats that he doesn't know English really well,
Oh,
but
I've seen that
yeah,
one.
it's
Yeah.
so good. He just starts his next word with, "Excuse me, I don't speak English, but I am excited." The interview just matches his energy perfectly, and it's just every time that's popped up on my algorithm this week, I've watched that. So good things like that. And then I don't know if you've seen any of the South Koreans down in Mexico who have completely blended in with each other. So they're obviously they're
Oh,
in,
they weren't allowed to bring their tequila into the
yeah, they had
stadium
a
and
whole
something
bottle
like
of
that.
tequila, so they were just shot by shot, and then they saw some Mexicans coming in who had basically obviously been to their game earlier in the day. It's like, oh yeah, let's all get involved, and they're all partying in the streets together. They're all sort of conjoining together as one sort of fan group. It's little bits like that that make the World Cup great. I'm sort of forgot about
Yeah.
that.
Also, that's got also nothing to do with FIFA. That's just human
Yeah, it's just human
interaction
interaction
and
and culture, and people forgetting
yeah.
that all these bad things you see online, there are good people in every culture, and there's no reason why humans can't just get on with each other and embrace each other's cultures and create the wonderful moments as we've seen.
Everybody should just kiss,
Yeah, exactly. Like
basically.
if 4,000 Scottish fans can go down to Fenway Park and embrace a sport as mundane as baseball,
Superb.
then everyone can get along. I don't know if you saw the interviews of some of the Scottish fans going in, where some of them clearly had no idea how baseball worked, and one fan was reminded that they play 9 innings each. By the way, you're going to be here for a good 4 or 5 hours if these innings, if each one goes on a lot longer than you expect. It's like, oh great, I'm going to go in, buy a beer, go home again. Just wonderful things to see. I mean, we know how good Scotland fans are when they travel. We saw that at Euro 2024 out in Germany.
Yeah.
We witnessed it firsthand when we were out in Dusseldorf, how wonderful they are. So there's no surprise that they fitted in really well up in Boston, which is again a town that are full of welcoming people. But even with England, I know there's been clips of England fans being typical England fans, but I imagine that's exactly the same with every fan base. You're going to get some bad apples everywhere. But
Yeah.
from England's training the other day, there was some
The
great
thing I
clips of
don't get
Americans.
about some of the England support is how are like things like people in Anglo-Saxon costumes not out of fashion? Like
Yeah,
why is that a thing still?
I know, yeah.
Because these guys, people were doing that 20, 30 years ago, and those aren't the same people doing that.
Yeah, it's become embedded in.
It's like a hand-me-down thing going on, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's a funnish gimmick, but I understand why. Yeah, you would have.
It's like I'm not trying to taint anybody here, but it's like the people that say no surrender during the national anthem. Like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah. There's obviously a lot. Yeah, they're very much the keep politics out of football kind of people, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're very much bringing politics into it. But yeah, no, it's been.
Yeah, we're going to the England game. We're really excited. Hope we win the game. Fuck Keir Starmer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's really fun to chant. But no,
yeah. Well, I really got into that. It's quite fun. I see how they do it.
Yeah, I see why people do it. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were some good clips as well as I think England are in Kansas as well, the same as Algeria. They're obviously in a different town, and people forget how big states are. So they're probably 100 miles from where Algeria are, but they've been welcomed just as nicely from the town they're in. There's been a lot of Americans who went along to the training session and have embraced the England players as much as the Algeria players were. There's a lot of Arsenal fans who live in the States now, obviously with the globalisation of the Champions League has helped build that brand. So a lot of people are coming out to meet Declan Rice, to meet Saka, players like that who were there. And
yeah, it's not the fact that Arsenal are a globally recognised brand. It's Champions League.
Yeah. No,
yeah, it's all in the Champions League. You didn't like that comment.
No, I didn't.
Well, I feel like I've got you back for the Gabrielle.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
It's a fair branch. I mean, I know we're the Hatewatch podcast, but I feel like we need it. It's nice to bring up the nice side.
Yeah, no, to be honest, I think you're ruining it. You're ruining the show.
Yeah.
This is too happy. It's too nice.
Yeah, people clicked off as soon as I started gushing about people. It's mental, isn't it? Oh no. Let's get back to the football. Who are we hating this week? Who have we got left to? Well, I suppose everyone's played, haven't they? But what games are standing out.
second round's coming. Well, the Mexicans and the South Koreans are going to be killing each other tonight
Yeah,
because they're playing
they
each
are
other.
playing each other. Yeah,
So
that's going to be the
um,
end of that fun relationship. Yeah, yeah.
whether I stay up for that, I don't know.
It
That's
was
the last game of the day at 2 a.m.
Oh yeah, no, I've been embracing the first halves of 2 a.m. kickoffs, and even Lionel Messi couldn't push me to the second half of their game, sadly. Which is
I made it all the way through the 3 a.m. kickoff
yeah,
yesterday, so I know
good
it's
job.
possible.
I mean,
But
you sat through Australia Turkey on Saturday night until 7 a.m., which I very much.
I no, I didn't quite make it through that. I was
Oh, did
surprised I
you?
got to that match.
Yeah, I
Can
wasn't far off kickoff to be fair. I was still awake around 4, which is
I saw the first goal, um, and then everything after that was a blur.
yeah, as it should
Um,
have been, as it should have been.
yeah, there's a lovely 4 a.m. kickoff on Saturday,
That
between
will.
Turkey and Paraguay.
Oh yeah, wonderful, wonderful. I mean,
That's just what you want.
Haiti was.
I'm 99% sure that the late kickoffs are not the big games. I'm sure TV viewing figures have been taken into account for this.
Yeah, there definitely has seemed to have been some scheduling there to make sure that none of the big
Which is
games.
annoying because, the teams playing is not an indication of how entertaining it's going to
No,
be.
exactly. The amount of
Um,
tweets I've seen of people who started right at the start of the World Cup is like, yeah, I'm going to commit to every game, and then they see what game it is at 5 a.m. and they tweet out something like, I can't do it. I'm sorry, boys. This game, I think New Zealand against Iran was one of the examples of that, and it's
that
the
was a
top.
great game.
Yeah, yeah, and the top comment will always be, "This is going to be a 3-3 thriller because I'm not staying up for it. This is guaranteed," and it has happened quite often. A lot of the early morning games have been really exciting from the highlights
Yeah,
that I've
I think
seen.
the only two that I think there's been two matches that I've just been out of it. Like I didn't even realize I'd fallen asleep.
Mm,
The Sweden game that I was
mm,
kind of looking forward to.
yeah.
Didn't make the Sweden game at all, and then the Austria Jordan
Oh
couldn't
yeah. Mm.
could not make it. I didn't even finish the Argentina game that day. I was
Oh wow, yeah.
dead.
That's the one risk we have with this. It is eventually going to catch up with you if you do try and push through
Yeah,
and try and live a normal life at the same time.
but
It's
I've just goodness me.
you see.
Sunday,
Yeah.
Sunday,
Mm.
Tunisia v Japan at 5 a.m.
Oh, that's grim, and that's annoyingly going to be quite an important game in that group. So
Yeah,
yeah, that is a shame because that's one where if I
and
was a
that's spaced out as well. That
yeah,
day,
1 a.m. is the game before, isn't it? Yeah, that's a
yeah,
big, big gap.
you got 9 p.m. Germany Ivory Coast, 1 a.m. Ecuador Curacao, 5 a.m. Tunisia Japan.
Mm. Another thing with these late games, I found this was something I was going to bring up when we were talking about the coverage, was some of the commentators that you've had for these games has not helped. Like the Ghana game last night, you had the option of listening to John Champion on ITV, which I hate to say it, his age has caught up with him now because he's one who I would big up as one of the best back in his day, but the lack of excitement he had for Ghana's late winner was very noticeable. And on the flip side, on the BBC, the highlights have Jonathan Pearce, who was had a slight bit more of excitement, but he's another one where I think I've said it on here before, where you go back to his clips from the 90s, and he is the most enthusiastic commentator I've ever
Yeah.
heard. He would go absolutely insane for goals.
No,
Whereas now,
even if you go back to like mid noughties match of the day, he's
mm,
like it's not necessarily better, but he's like he's a different person.
mm. Yeah, yeah, no, it's been quite
And
familiar with a lot of these commentators over the
I've
years.
had that with John Champion because I went to Sporting Arsenal in Lisbon a few
Hmm.
months ago, and obviously we scored in the last minute. And when I was watching when I got back home, I was like, "Oh, I'll watch the highlights because it was a dramatic moment." And
Hmm.
it kind of just didn't hit,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I was kind of disappointed.
Mm.
But
Yes, I mean, it's a point we've done to death. It is a great shame that Clive Tilsley has been completely ousted from ITV altogether now. He is a big miss at this World Cup. There was a good
he's
article.
still got it as well.
He does, yeah. I mean, he's in his mid to late 70s, and yeah, he's still exactly as good.
He's
as
not.
Yeah, he is. He is. I looked him up the other day.
Get out of here.
The good
He's not
article.
70s.
He's in his 70s.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
He's 71.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a great article on the Athletic that he gave an interview for because it's his first
Oh, I
major
saw that.
tournament
Yeah.
where he's not travelled at all for any outlet, which I think he has said is his personal choice because yeah, he had offers from loads of of media companies to do coverage for them, but yeah, he is a big miss. I will say though that it comes with like the good things as well. Like Seb Hutchinson was on the Argentina game the other night,
Yeah.
and my word, he was the reason I woke straight back up when Messi's goal was disallowed early on because he just you could tell how much he's a big fan of Lionel Messi, and he was going absolutely insane for him. And we've said on it before how much we like Seb Hutchinson's work. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the sort of balance you've got on the commentaries on both. You've got really good ones and really poor ones on both.
One thing I do like about the commentators, which is a sentence I never thought I'd say on here. Obviously they have, so they've paired the commentators with the co-coms, and they're getting their own sort of connection with each other.
Yeah,
which is nice to see.
They're able to build their rapport.
There's like even people like Danny Murphy, who I don't particularly rate as like from an analytical point of view. But like he's got his banter going with his main guy. I think he's with Steve Bauer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And yeah, it feels like they're on a sort of like a lad's holiday kind of thing, and then this is their day job. So I like that they've got that going.
Yeah, whether they've taken that from Ali McCoist and Clive Tilsley being really good in the last World Cup, that it clearly works that if you have two people do every game together, then yeah, you can build these connections because yeah, there are loads of co-coms who are quite poor, but if you have someone they can bounce off of, and that's as you say, they've done that really well with the combinations they've picked, I think, which has been nice to see.
Yeah, I've been chronicling everything weird said during.
Yeah, if no one has seen your thread on Twitter or on your LinkedIn, it's very good. There's some of the ones you found have been amazing.
Sam Matface is a goldmine. I've got to say.
Oh yeah, there was another tweet I saw this week where someone said, "Oh, you can clearly tell Sam Matface came up in radio, but he still hasn't learned that every little bit of silence doesn't need to be filled with something." Like, please stop having a conversation.
Well, they said the same about Fletch.
Yeah,
of course.
Go far,
and I think I've also said this before. That must be a difficult transition.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But then if that makes you not good at the other job, then it's weird that they've got these big jobs.
Yeah, they persisted with you're our head of commentary. It's like a lot of people would prefer something else.
Aside from the games, that is definitely what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking for more screw ups.
Yeah.
Like the commentator yesterday in the Portugal game could not pronounce Cedric Bakambu to save his life.
Yeah.
Just said Bakambu every time. Like it's as it's spelt.
Yeah, there's an A.
That's how like it's how you read it. Like
this is a player who's played for big teams in Europe before. Like he's a known name. Like how are you getting him wrong? Yeah. I did catch that too. Have you got a favourite from your thread of things you pointed out? That I know I am.
Again, you're putting me on the spot. Yeah. Yes. I'm in like the mid-20s of things that have annoyed me.
Big pool to pick from. I'm trying to think which one of us retweeted. Okay. Oh yeah.
Sam Matterface said yesterday that Ivan Perisic. So Ivan Perisic gets the ball and then he goes, Ivan Perisic, 37 years and counting. I was like, and counting, as opposed to 37 years and dead.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about? Why are you adding words like that?
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm a big fan of that. I think one of yours I retweeted was a really obvious one, which is people surprised that people highlighting the bloated World Cup that we've got and picking teams like Cape Verde and Curacao, who this is the bloated World Cup's helped them be here. It's like, no, they both topped their groups. What are you talking about? In the normal World Cup, they'd both be here. Yeah,
I like the format would have been different, sure. Yeah. But like they're clearly a good team, and I said I wrote in one of my World Cup blogs recently that they nearly qualified for 22 as well. They nearly got out of that group.
Yes.
They would. I think they only needed to like avoid defeat against Nigeria, and they lost both times. And that's all. That was the difference. That got Nigeria through to the playoff.
And the last two Afcons as well, they've reached the knockout stages both times. I mean, one of them
Yeah.
they were very nearly made it to the semis. So they are a really well established side from a really competitive nation as well. So it's that is the one thing that enough pundits haven't pointed out enough and given them the respect they deserve. I know Curacao got battered in the end, but still they are there on merit. It's not because they're of the new sort of format.
It's not like they got in through the back door. Like
Well,
you could argue that's how you could apply that to Congo. Going through the intercontinental playoffs or Iraq. But they qualified.
Exactly. So if you are going to make that point, then those are the teams you should apply it to, not the two that got in there by doing really.
And also, there's huge teams that are not in this tournament, like Italy, like Nigeria, like Cameroon. And that's despite all of the extra avenues to a World Cup place.
That was the thing with Cape Verde topped the group that had Cameroon in it. They beat some established teams in their qualifying round. So they need to be more respected. But I mean, as I keep saying, we're still so early doors in this World Cup. It's going to be so fun when we sit down again next week. There's going to be a whole new list of things for us to go to, and I know for
goodness me, I don't know how much longer that thread can go. That's going to get into triple figures pretty quickly. If England go all the way and we get Sam Matterface every game, whoa.
Oh you'll be.
And Lee Dixon, he ain't innocent either.
No, of course. He'll be spoilt for choice. But and I know for a fact we've missed so much that's happened in this past week that we probably should be bringing to the table, and I've already forgotten about it because 100 things have happened since then. But I mean, as I say, there's big games to look forward to this week, and hopefully we get a few spanners thrown in the works, and hopefully England do their job quite comfortably against Ghana, because I have written Ghana off quite comfortably because they
were not all that. I mean, they do have a lot of pace in attack. But England have more than enough to deal with that, and obviously just score against them, so it doesn't matter. I thought actually Panama were the better team in the first half.
I think I said
which surprised me.
Panama aren't the 2018 Panama anymore. They do have a bit more ability about them.
So I think England will be okay. ITV will continue to do well, and the BBC is the jury's out.
Hopefully
a little bit, and hopefully it all goes to shit, and we're all just miserable and laughing at ourselves.
I mean, at least one day we'll all die, right?
It's only footy, innit?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sweet, warm, embracing death will be.
And on that cheerful note, I think we'll bid farewell. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in. Hope you are enjoying the World Cup as much as we clearly are. And so we will reconvene, I guess, after the Ghana game next week.
Yeah, we'll be a day later. A day earlier, won't we? Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So we'll be back.
Fun.
Regular schedule.
And until then, happy hate watching, and we'll see you soon.
Well, some of the crowd are on the pitch.